Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah.
And welcome everybody to another live edition of First and Goal with your hosts, me, Jay in the UP, and
Steak and Cheese, or known as Dave. It's good to be back, brother.
Oh, a week off, man. It was a hell of a week. It's been a long son's
life
baseball
happens, man.
started.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be is life. And that's the thing is, of course, our dream of being on ESPN NFL Network, but hey, that's got to be put aside when life happens. That's what comes first.
Well, I still don't adhere to it, but they say happy wife, happy life. I think that's a bunch of BS, but at the same time,
I adhere to it.
At the same time, it doesn't stop me from doing things like creating the 50 by 15 foot garden that I hand tilled yesterday and had to build out of the backyard, and completely having to redo my RV out of the yard, which meant removing the fence and then putting the fence back and getting the RV to start and moving it forward. And that's another project because, all these things start. And the 4th of July, we have a big party here because that is our one day of the year off. It is the 3rd of July up here, not the 4th of July, because that's when they do it. And we get down and dirty. It is parent party at our house. So, yes, there's a lot to prepare for that.
Nice. July 4th parties are always the best.
All right, well, you know what? I will admit, folks, although I do listen to radio, I have been so busy with work. I have been Twitter silent and very, very kind of checked out at the moment, as you can see my long list of things I've been doing. So Dave is probably going to do most of the talking, while I just say smart-ass things that probably don't make sense for this show. So, Dave, go with the news updates.
News updates.
Well, we're going to start off with a couple biggies. The Bucks came out yesterday and released Gerald McCoy, Pro Bowl defensive tackle, set to make $13 million this year. Bucks didn't want to pay him, but this is the thing that really confused me. They signed Sue today, the defensive tackle, for I believe $12 to $12.5 million. So rather than not paying McCoy, which is a younger defensive tackle, they paid an older defensive tackle maybe $500,000 or $1 million short of what McCoy was going to make. So I was kind of confused by that. They're still getting a Pro Bowl tackle there, but I feel Sue, if he wanted a ring, he could have gone somewhere else. I don't think Tampa Bay was a good pick, in my opinion. But moving on, there was a bigger one, especially in Packers realm. Oh boy. Josh Jones is starting to pout. He probably got informed he wasn't going to start at either safety or linebacker. So he's not showing up for OTAs, and he wants a trade. And I feel like it's just he's bowing out the most cheapest way possible. Like, I'm sorry. A lot of NFL players have given everything, like being undrafted. Perfect example, Adam Thielen for the Vikings. Dude was undrafted. Came into the Vikings camp as a walk-on, a practice squad for 2 years, and now he just got a giant extension. It's called work, Josh Jones. You got to do it, man. You can't just bow out just because you're going to be second fiddle in safety or linebacker. That's how you better yourself. Like, that to me is just a huge.
I'm going to chime in here because I did hear about this, and you know what? Look, he is not going to play a lot at safety. Okay, not in the traditional sense.
No, I got that. But if he's being told as a backup, hey, you're going to play behind Oren Burks,
No. What he was going to do was probably start at all of the packages next to Blake Martinez. And considering that we've talked about this before, Dave, Pettin plays a lot of that dime, nickel, and dollar defensive backfield with 6, 7,
likes his
8
DBs.
defensive backs. Right.
Yeah.
So although you may be lined up as a, traditionally like they put on the field, well, he's in a linebacker position. He's still got the responsibilities of a safety DB. And honestly, Josh Jones, dude, if you want more playing time, like, show you can cover. Like, I'm sorry.
Not even that. Show up to OTAs. This is the stuff he's pulling right now that's showing, like, this is what Haha did last year. He didn't show up to OTAs. He was showing signs he didn't want to be there, and he was traded. He was gone within up to midseason. He was gone. So that's why I'm like, it feels
I'm
like
a little
that all over
irritated
again.
with this one, Dave. When I heard the news, it instantly irritated me. First of all, you're a guy that's going into your third year. Second of all, you're a guy that was a high draft pick with all these numbers, a RAS score through the roof, and yet you haven't shown that you can be trustworthy enough in practice, mind you, that you can be trusted in game.
Yep.
And then you want to instead of having the testicular fortitude to go out and instead of saying, well, the coaches are just not being good, and actually being true and honest with yourself and working your, excuse my language, but working your ass off at every little thing and being overcritical to a point where people probably got to tell you to back off of yourself, then maybe if then you show something, then maybe this is the avenue. But you know what? I say trade him or cut him at this point, because it's the mentality.
There's no trade value. That's the problem. Is he said he wants to trade.
Neither did Ty Montgomery. Ty Montgomery was a third round pick. They got a conditional.
I don't know how Gutekunst did that. I don't know how he pulled that off.
At this point, this goes back to when we were talking. Remember, Dave, about Ja'Kai Polite and about the mentality that he had. And this is that same mentality for, again, to me, it's a defensive player. Receivers, they got this kind of mentality, this pouty crap. It doesn't matter. When you're a defensive player with this kind of attitude mentally, to me, you don't belong on the field, and you're never going to be a good player. You cannot have this mindset, especially in nowadays the way the rules are, as a defensive player. This is you're defeated before you ever do anything football wise with his mindset that he's in right now. It irritated the shit out of me. I'm a former athlete that had to retire because of injuries, especially breaking C7 6 times in 6 months and not realizing it. And I was told that I was going to get to be pro in the sport I was at, and it was taken away. So when I hear shit like this, it highly agitates me. It really does.
Well, because he thinks it's going to be served on a platter to him. I'm sorry. What do you think you're going to do?
And I had to work my ass
off. As a second-round draft pick?
Yeah.
No, I totally understand that. He thinks he's a second-round pick, so he thinks he gets handed stuff, thinks he can just start over Oren Burks. And I'm sorry. That's why I love Oren Burks, because I think he has the fortitude to be able to come out and bust his ass. And especially second year in Pettin's system, I think, especially playing next to Blake, I think he could do well. Especially as a covering linebacker into that being able, because he played safety in college too, like we've talked about before. If Josh Jones is already mentally out, I want him gone. Like,
That's my point. I don't care if it's even cutting him. I don't need guys on my defense in this era with the way the rules are that he is beaten without doing anything football wise. Like his mindset, he's never going to do anything. Because every bad thing that happens is only going to sink him further in this pool of pity he's living in.
Well, perfect example. I have a perfect. I'm sorry for burping, guys. I had some soda for dinner tonight. It's finally coming back up. But I have a perfect example. Tramon Williams, like this, he's talking about a rookie safety, a later in the round, first round draft pick, Darnell Savage. Like, this is already blowing my mind, the fact that Josh Jones is going to his third year, wants to trade, acting like a baby, because he's probably told he's not going to start. And this is Tramon Williams, what he's saying about Darnell Savage. He goes, this is quote-unquote per Tramon Williams. You know what's funny with Darnell? Even before he stepped on the field, I recognized how smart the kid was. And with most rookies, you don't see that right away. Like, you wonder, okay, can he pick up this? Can he do this? Can he do that? But, man, this kid pretty much knows what we've done put in already. He's asking for more. You don't get that from no rookies asking for more things already. It's not what rookies do. That's a perfect example. You already have a rookie from 2019 draft showing more effort than Josh Jones, a 30-year vet. That's sad.
This is why, though, Dave.
Savage is a whole other pedigree, though. I understand
that.
But
still, this is why you and I were so high on the fact that the 4th-round picks were worth going and getting this guy who we had.
Bingo.
We had graded.
You hear
now,
that, Bruce?
Dave and I agreed
you hear that, Bruce?
Dave and I agreed on one thing. One thing was always absolute. That Darnell Savage was by far our highest-rated defensive back, and it was number 1 on our board as far as who we wanted.
There's a reason why he was taken as the first defensive back in the draft.
He was the first defensive back taken. And it was worth, when you hear things like this, look, he is going to make physical mistakes, okay? Because all rookies, no matter how damn good they are going to make physical mistakes. What you're hearing here is the likelihood of this kid coming in and making a mental mistake is going to be very low. And do you know what a coach would rather have? A physical mistake. Physical mistakes are easily pointed out on film and corrected. Yeah. When you have guys, i.e. Josh Jones, who are making, or Clinton Dix, that are making mental mistakes because of angles, because of wrong reads. It doesn't matter how many times you can show them on film, they are not processing it mentally. You can't fix that for somebody. They have to fix it themselves, and sometimes it's just not possible. This is why, guys, why we were so adamant about Darnell Savage. You are hearing it right away. And yes, we're not saying that I know it sounds homerish, but this is a big thing to hear a guy from Tramon Williams say things like this about a rookie.
He doesn't speak a lot either. When he comes out and speaks, it means something.
Yes. What else you got, Dave? Because I know you're full of it today, man.
I just found this. I just found a little bit ago. Oh my God, freaking the Jared Veldheer, the tackle the Patriots just signed to replace the tackle they left in free agency, just retired.
Brown.
So now Brady has a huge hole on their offensive line. I'm sure Belichick will find something, but there's not that many options in free agency right now. So it's going to be fun.
A Packers Patriot lineman trade like a Jason Spriggs possibly?
Oh no, I don't smell that. I'm just saying the fact that Patriots might have an offensive line problem this year. And watch, they might have trouble making the playoffs this year because they just lost their left tackle replacement. That's huge. Like this far in the OTA, come on.
They do have the second-year kid coming off of the ACL tear, which was early in camp.
Okay, year, so. ACL tear for an O-line, that's big. He's going to have to come on and show he can play on it.
Right, but again, it happened last year around this time, so he's had a full year in a modern day where we've seen many of players at skilled positions come back in 9 months. I'm just saying that I think if you look at it, again, Dave, all I'm saying is I've learned my lesson. If this was one of the other 31 teams, including the Packers, I might start to say things and think the way you are right now. I'm not going to think like that. I just don't believe it. They have Dante Scarnecchia on that offensive line who has taken – I don't even know who the hell 4 of the 5 guys on their line are at any given time, and yet they never have offensive line problems, Dave. It's freaking amazing. I can't understand it.
Belichick is a genius. I know.
But it's Scarnecchia because when Scarnecchia wasn't there 3 years ago before they brought him back, and they had these same issues. Remember? They had a mess of a line, and then they called him and begged the guy to come back. Right, so it is their coaching and the system they run and a lot of other things. But again, it's just the Patriots, man, and I don't like them. You know how I feel about Tom Brady and the GOAT.
Well, I got some more news about the Patriots. I know you don't want to hear it, but this will probably better their team. So the Vikings have been having a lot of contract talks with Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph, apparently the talks broke off. Now it's coming back on.
Yeah,
and
today, they drafted
the Patriots. Jr. Oh, no, but the Patriots now have inquired the Vikings about Kyle Rudolph. And then you have Ben Watson. I think they might try to go to their old school two tight end scheme. If they're trying that, then